We have no traditional ceremonies in Austria to connect with the land, with the Mother Earth. A lot of people are interested in spiritual teachings from the native cultures.
My elders back home say that this shouldn't be. They shouldn't be practicing this stuff.
I'm Lisa Meaches. Welcome to the Sharing Circle. After generations of struggling to preserve our culture and way of life, we as First Nations people in North America have managed to keep our traditions alive. And for those who immerse themselves in the teachings of our ancestors, their lives are profoundly affected. But spiritualism knows no boundaries and tends to reach those in need. Today, the Red Man's teachings are touching people around the world, many of whom are searching for spirituality long since missing from their lives. In Europe, the sacred ways of our ancestors are affecting an unlikely group of people as they attempt to connect with Creator, the earth, and their hearts. While hard to imagine today, for thousands of years, Celtic tribes lived among these Austrian mountains, living off the land and maintaining a strong spiritual connection to the earth, in many ways similar to Canada's First Nations people. But over 1,000 years ago, everything changed when the Holy Roman Empire conquered these tribes and forced them to assimilate to a new civilization and way of life, or perish. Today, with the teachings of his own ancestors long gone, Cort Fencart and his wife Christine are on a mission to reconnect with their long-lost spiritual roots by learning the sacred practices of other Indigenous cultures, including those of Canada's First Nations people.
We feel that a lot of people are interested in spiritual teachings from the native cultures, because only money is not fulfilling them. And so they are searching. Some of them find their way in the native cultures.
Gehört einfach dazu, dass wir in der Schamanismusakademie, dass wir Menschen unterrichten, dass sie mehr zur Natur finden, dann, dass sie einfach von den Naturvölkern, dass dies Überlieferungen sind, dass da mehr lernen können und dass wir es integrieren können in unser Leben, weil es einfach wichtig ist, dass wir Spiritualität leben und von uns nicht abschneiden.
Ja, dann machen wir jetzt den Probelauf, das heißt für das Filmteam. We have lost the contact to our ancestors, and it's very hard to learn about our ancestors. People in former times had similar traditions than native people in Canada. They were connected to the nature. We know about their graves, but we don't know really pretty much about their traditions. people who explore this area know how they worked, but they don't know how they prayed. And so it's the only way to have a connection to our ancestors is to visit a museum.
For the past 15 years, Cort has immersed himself in the ways of indigenous cultures around the world and conducts shaman workshops dedicated to teaching native spirituality.
Es ist so, wenn Sie nicht gleich sagen, es kann sein, dass da in der Fingerkuppe zum Beispiel ein Kribbeln spüren.
I believe that the natives, the way they were living, they had a very close relation to nature. And if we find back to some roots, we get more power for ourselves in our life.
Dass wir einen Platz suchen beim Baum, so nah wie möglich.
We understand better the native people, and we can give this to our children so that I hope will be more peace on earth.
Yes, we do it because it's our mission to share the native knowledge and the native wisdom in our words with our people here in Austria and Germany.
Several hundred kilometers north of the peaceful Austrian countryside lies Frankfurt, Germany, one of Europe's richest cities, fast-paced, structured, organized, civilized. Here we find a culture clash of a different kind. John Blackbird is a Cree from Waterhen Lake First Nation in northern Saskatchewan and has been living in Germany for over 10 years.
I was born on the reserve, but I never grew up on the reserve. I lived in a foster home with Germans, and my foster dad said, "I'll teach you German, because maybe one day you'll go to Germany." And I said, "Nah, I'm never going to Germany. What do I want there?" And eventually, I did make it to Germany. People were really pleased to meet me. They were shaking my hand and saying, "Wow, you're the first Indian I've ever met." It's funny, I never had white people stop and want to have their picture taken with me, because I was a Native American or North American Indian. See, back home, we're not people you stop and take pictures of yourself with, but over here, people are really interested.
Much of this European interest in First Nations culture stems from the writings of Karl May, a best-selling German author who wrote a series of books romanticizing Native American people.
People still see Native American people the way they were when they were hunting the buffalo and stuff like that. And for the people here, it's a kind of freedom, freedom and strength and being proud and and that's why they are so interested in it.
It's a fine line because you just watch and you think, well, what's going on here? It's kind of crazy. And the way they try and act like real Indian, and they tell a joke, in German, and then they try and laugh like an Indian person and go, ah. And it's all in German too, so it's kind of, I don't know. I can't even say that in German. But there's some people here that really like the Indian culture and teachings and feel close to the way Indian people are, because it helps them find balance. The Indian way of thought is something that works for Germans, I think, as well. It gives them some peace of mind.
In their quest to adopt the Indian way of life, Cort and Christine traveled to Canada to experience firsthand authentic Aboriginal culture. When Cort and Christine arrive in Canada, they journey to Alberta's awe-inspiring Rocky Mountains, traditional territory of the Blackfoot Nation.
When I was a child, my father took me out in the mountains, and I didn't know why, but I always thought it's wonderful, but it's so little. And now when I'm here in Canada, I think it's like I dreamed as a child. It's all nature and very big, very wide. And that's wonderful.
So I have a few different animal tracks here. This is Mashqua, black bear.
Métis guide Brenda Holder
So
shares
let's
her
learn the
knowledge
difference
of how
between a
Canada's
grizzly bear
Aboriginal people live in the
black bear
natural
track.
world.
These animals all have 5 toes, and where
For
I tracked
Europeans,
this black
discovering
bear,
Canada's
there's a little bit of
diverse
sand,
Aboriginal
so it's
culture
kind of
can
hard
be
to see the fifth
overwhelming.
toe. Grizzly bears have very long claws. Quite a few
Creative
species
Western
can use long, up
Adventures
to
is one of only a
13
few tour
foot.
companies attempting to bridge the gap between
Very
European
close to them,
travelers
and I know
and Canada's
exactly
First
why you're
Nations
saying
communities.
Creative Western Adventures is a small company specialized in nature, culture, and adventure travel. What we learn is about native culture, about nature, about the Métis people. We learn wildlife tracking, we learn bushcraft, and many medicinal plants, and many more things.
A rule of thumb really is just to use your hand here, and that's roughly the size of a deer.
Yeah.
And then an elk will be about that size, and then moose, you're looking at about that size, roughly.
Yes, yeah, when I do so. As in my hand is about this.
For your hand.
For my hand, yeah. But it's longer than
Yes.
here.
Yeah, yes. Yes. Having a group like Kurtz and Christina very interested in us, it's a very humbling experience. Probably one of the most important things that I feel, and I hope that most Aboriginal people feel, is that because there is a lot of focus on us and there's a lot of interest in us, it's important for us to remember everybody has something to teach us. Now watch. That is sun protection
Sonnenschutz ist das.
of 15. I feel being with Kurt's group is their history was lost, their Aboriginal history is no more. And I think it's very humbling to have that reminder to let us know that we need to keep our traditions alive and never let them go away. I should be able to show you that a little bit later.
Okay.
Now the drum represents the gift from Creator. And he
One
gave
of
the gift
Suzanne's
to the
partners
woman,
is Hal Eagletel of
the gift
Tsuut'ina
bringing life
Nation.
into the earth.
After
And
20
when we
years of
have our
promoting
ceremony
Aboriginal
dance called the
tourism,
friendship
he's no
dance,
stranger to sharing the
the gift of
culture with
bringing life
others.
into the earth. And through the drum comes all the emotions that flow. Happiness, sadness, excitement. I started the tourism business on Tsuut'ina Nation in 1987, and I got the support of the traditional spiritual elders to do it. However, I did come into some opposition from our own people saying, you know, we don't want no non-natives coming out here looking at our backyard and talking about us. And then I had explained it the way the elders said. The more education that you get out, the more sensitized that they get to who we are. It's very important to get across the misconceptions from the history books as well as the stereotypes from Hollywood. And the more nations that open their doors to tourism, the better understanding they'll have of our cultural diversity in our geographical areas. I was wondering if your daddy was a thief.
Christina was deep in her feelings when Hal gave us his song. And he can sing a song that is older than 300 years, and they have no writing. In our country, although the old songs are gone, yes, they are written, but people don't sing them.
Cord and Christine's native spiritual journey is about to be elevated to a whole new mystical level. Cord and Christine's mystical quest continues, venturing from the high mountains to the vast prairies, traditional territory of Alberta's Siksika First Nation.
Yeah, the difference between the mountains and the prairie is I cannot describe. In my mind, if I look down here, I can imagine that maybe 100 or 200 years ago there would be standing apart some teepees down there, and I have a very strong connection to this place. Maybe that there were other tents too, because they built up their teepees near the water because water was very important for them. And although the buffaloes needed to drink water, and maybe that this was a place where they built their teepees when they went hunting buffaloes.
I'd like to welcome you. This part of the country here, my ancestors, my grandfathers, used to live along this river.
I am here, was invited to come and talk to these people, these European people, about our spirituality. We understood in Europe they have lost their spirituality, and they're all searching for something that is truthful from the heart. And I think Native people speak from the heart.
Could you explain how it works, this sun dance exactly, and the piercing, and what is the ritual? Or?
It starts 4 days. I don't have any food for 4 days. I don't have anything to drink. I have 2 sweats a day.
I feel that the Creator wants me to be here. So for me to come here and explain about the Creator, love for the Creator and respect the Creator, respect the Mother Earth, you know. It kind of gives me a pretty personal satisfaction that many of our elders do the same thing as I do, sharing things with the world, and then hope someday they listen to us, you know, not to abuse Mother Nature.
These pile of rocks are called with the 2 circles, 1 circle inside, 1 circle on the outside. You can notice, you can hardly see them now.
As part of their spiritual prairie adventure, Elder Harry Redgun escorts the group to a sacred ceremonial site, a medicine wheel.
Something they pray, and they come up here, and make a sacrifice of tobacco here, over there, over there.
I think it's a very mystic place because it's on the top of the hill, and hills always were sacred space. Christine says when she is feeling spirals of energy coming up, when we feel the spirals, is a very powerful place. On the prairie, there is this mystic place. It was a peak for me to be there and to feel the energy. It was not enough time. I think the experience from the beginning till now is getting, every day is getting better. Our trip to Canada was for us a very powerful experience to share with Native people and to learn about their traditions from them. All the time, I think we were very happy when we met the Native people. For us, it was a beautiful experience.
After returning home to Austria, Cord and Christine practice some of the ceremonies they have learned in Canada, sharing the ancient native wisdom with their students.
When we were in Canada, we learned some ceremonies, and the natives told us that we can use these ceremonies in Austria because we have no traditional ceremonies to connect with the land, with the Mother Earth. now we try to teach these ceremonies to people in Austria who are interested in these things. And I think these are very, very important things to do, because this connects us with the Creator and all the spiritual world.
Ich fühle mich bei den Zeremonien in erster Linie verbunden mit meinem Herz, dann aber auch verbunden mit dem Herz der Erde. Und also wenn es dem Ende zugeht, wenn das Gebet beendet ist, bin ich einfach erfüllt mit Freude. Und diese Freude liebe ich und somit liebe ich Zeremonien.
Der Spirit in den Pflanzen, in den Steinen, dass da überall ein Geist ist. Und das geht es auch. Wir haben in unserer Gesellschaft mit unserer Zivilisation verlernt auf diese Energien, auf die Sachen.
As First Nations people, we take a lot of our ideas and decisions based on what our elders say, you know. So my elders back home say, this shouldn't be. They shouldn't be practicing this stuff. For myself personally, I won't go to a German sweat lodge or to see a German pray with a pipe. For me, that's at home. My reserve, you know, that's my holy land. That's where I come from. It's where my culture is, my people, our language. And when people practice that over here, I kind of stay away from it. You know, I'm not interested at all.
Und es gibt aber viele Zeremonien, die ich hier auf alle Fälle machen möchte und auch machen werde. Weil die Mutter Erde ist nicht nur in Nordamerika, oder in Kanada, die Mutter Erde ist auch bei uns. Und der Mutter Erde für sie ist es überall gut, wenn Menschen für sie Heilungen vollziehen.
Some people say that we can transport ceremonies, and my opinion is we don't transport the ceremonies, but we transport the spiritual essence. We have one Creator, and the Creator of Canadian Indians is the same Creator as we have in Austria or Germany. For the Creator, it doesn't matter if we are black or white or yellow or red. We are one human being.